Los Angeles International Airport buzzed with energy. The sound of rolling suitcases, flight announcements, and hurried footsteps filled the air. It was another busy morning with travelers rushing to their gates, their minds focused on their destinations. Among them was 19-year-old Jordan Ellis, tall, confident, but dressed simply in a navy hoodie, dark jeans, and a pair of well-worn sneakers. In his hand, he clutched a first-class boarding pass to New York. Today was more than just a trip. Today was the first step in reclaiming a lost legacy. But what would happen next would be a test far greater than he had anticipated. Jordan Ellis was the grandson of Raymond Ellis, one of the greatest African-American entrepreneurs in history. Back in the late 1960s, Raymond Ellis had founded Ellis Aviation, breaking barriers in an industry that had long been dominated by white executives. Against all odds, he built a name for himself, proving that determination and innovation could overcome even the most rigid obstacles. But after his passing, the company was slowly stripped from the Ellis family. The board members bought out their shares, shifting the company in a direction far from what Raymond had envisioned. Now, Jordan had a plan. He was flying to New York for a major investment meeting, aiming to reclaim the biggest shares of the company and restore his grandfather's vision. But first, he had to board the plane. As Jordan reached the first-class check-in counter, passengers ahead of him were processed swiftly. When it was his turn, the agent Susan Briggs took one glance at him and hesitated. "Good morning," she said, forcing a polite smile. "Is this ticket yours?" Jordan nodded. "Yes, of course." Susan's eyes narrowed slightly. "This is for first class." Jordan met her gaze evenly. "I know." She took another look at the boarding pass, then pursed her lips. "I'm sorry, but I need to verify this ticket," she said carefully. Jordan's expression remained calm, though he could feel frustration rising. "Why?" Susan gave a small laugh. "Sometimes passengers make mistakes, or there are system errors. I just need to check." Behind him, an older man let out an impatient sigh. "If he's not boarding, can we move on?" Susan made a decision. "Please step aside while I confirm your ticket," she said, discreetly signaling to security. Within a minute, two security guards approached. "Mr. Ellis, can you come with us for a moment?" Jordan sighed internally. He had been in this situation before, but this time he wasn't just another young black man being doubted. He was the future of an empire. Passengers whispered as he followed the guards to the side. At a nearby counter, Susan scrutinized his boarding pass and ID, speaking quietly into her radio. Then the terminal manager walked in, and the moment he saw Jordan, his eyes widened. "Mr. Ellis, what a surprise to see you here." Susan blinked in confusion. Jordan extended a polite hand. "Good morning, Mr. Henderson." Henderson shook his hand firmly, then turned to Susan. "Do you know who this is?" Susan hesitated. I was just verifying his ticket." Henderson exhaled sharply. "You didn't need to. Jordan Ellis is the heir to Ellis Aviation." For a moment, there was complete silence. Susan's face went pale. Jordan held her gaze, letting the weight of the moment settle in. "I suppose," he said evenly, "the system error wasn't actually in my ticket, was it?" Susan swallowed hard. I made a mistake." Jordan nodded slowly. "Yes, but this isn't just about me. Have you considered how many other people you've treated the same way? How many opportunities have been taken away because of assumptions?" Susan looked away. For the first time, she really thought about it. Henderson cleared his throat. "Susan, I know you take your job seriously, but this is not in line with our values. Bias, whether intentional or not, has no place in our company." Susan looked at Jordan, her expression softer now. "What can I do?" Jordan smiled slightly. "That depends on whether you really want to change." Jordan didn't miss his flight, but this incident sparked a major change in the aviation industry. Ellis, Aviation implemented company-wide training programs to address racial biases and discrimination in customer service. Susan, after deep reflection, joined the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, working to prevent others from experiencing what Jordan had. And Jordan, he made it to New York, where he sat in a boardroom and took the first step in reclaiming his family's legacy. A legacy that had once been erased was now being rewritten. This is not just a story about injustice, it's about accountability, leadership, and change. Jordan didn't just reclaim his rightful seat on the plane, he reclaimed his family's legacy. What do you think? Can people truly change when confronted with their biases? Comment your thoughts below.